996 is the spirit that I encourage in Alibaba people. If you want to have a bright future, if you don't want to be give up by the society, if you want to be successful, you have to work hard. Of course, you can enjoy life. I work only 2 hours a day. And
can you enjoy life with the 996 regime?
Yes, I do. I do.
Do other people in Shenzhen and elsewhere?
I think most of the people in this world, whether they're a great president, whether they're a good professor, or a good engineer, a good scientist, or good anchor, like you work much more than you do. When I have a shower, I think, I work. When I'm in the toilet, I think. When I'm running, I think. We never stop working. Because today, why Alibaba need to 996? Because we, on our side, we have more than 60 million business rely on us. If we don't work hard, they lose their hope. So we have to work hard.
Habit number 2, manage your schedule well with Bill Gates.
As a person as busy as yourself, when do you do email?
I do some on the phone. I do a lot. I'm a very PC-centric person.
Okay.
I sit at my desk with a nice big Surface screen.
Nice.
I get in early to do email, a lot at night. Particularly if I get a long email, I'll mark it as unread. And then that night I'm going through the last few days looking at what I marked as unread and said, okay, that's got an enclosure.
Right.
Let's really go through that, give a thoughtful response to it. I do know if I overschedule myself, the symptom of that is I'm starting to fall behind on email. I'm not super responsive, and that can be a bad thing. Today I got mail about this coronavirus outbreak and how should the foundation step up and do something. I'm glad I was there to give a really quick response.
Yes, definitely.
Some things are urgent, and but it's a gauge of am I managing my schedule well, that people feel like I'm quick to reply.
Habit number 3, set boundaries with Oprah Winfrey.
When I first started making money, and it was my salary or my earnings were published all over the place. I mean, the first year I was like, really? Did I make that much money? Oh my God. It was very difficult for me to figure out where my boundaries were, because I'd grown up poor and didn't have anything. So it's easy when you don't have anything and people ask you for money and they say, I need $500. You say, I don't have it because I'm just trying to get my rent paid. It's harder when your multi-million-dollar salary is now in the paper and you get a lot of friends and cousins you didn't have before. So how do you set boundaries for yourself? I was having trouble setting boundaries for myself for even strangers. People would just show up at my door in Chicago and say, oh, bro, I left my husband, please help me. And I would, because she knows I have it. Many times you will have angst and worry about things and put yourself in a state, like someone said this morning because their phone went off, they were mortified over a phone. I said, really? You will put yourself in a state when the other person really isn't even thinking about you. So learning that I could specifically determine for myself what the boundaries were for me, what I wanted to do, give my money, give my time, give of my service to who I wanted to give it to when I did, that I get to make that decision. And just because you get 100 requests a week doesn't mean you have to try to fulfill all of that. Just because you have all of these demands on your time and on you doesn't mean that you have to say yes. You get to decide because you're the master of your fate. The captain of your soul, as William Ernest Henley said in Invictus. And understanding that really changed the meaning of my life, in that I was no longer driven by what other people wanted me to do, but took charge of my own destiny, making choices based upon what do I feel is the next right move for me.
Always spread positivity with John Paul DeJoria.
how do you think the way you think? How can you self-actualize? How can you be positive? Can you identify a reason?
Well, for me, it's a little easier than maybe for some people because one, when you're down and out more than once, you don't know money, know nothing, and something good happens. Oh boy, this is great. But I was, with all due respect, I was born, I think, positive. My mom would always tell me, my God, be careful. Mom, I'm going to be just fine. I was kind of think born positive. You know, then obviously when you're down, you go up, you get even more positive because you're so happy. And then when you have an abundance of something and you get to share it with people and you see a good end result, it's happy. If you do something for somebody else and ask absolutely nothing in return, it's the greatest high you'll ever get. Now, I went through the 60s, okay? It's the greatest high you'll ever get when you help somebody. And you ask nothing in return. Yes, absolutely nothing in return. It's higher than smoking anything.
Is that how you would describe a good giver?
Yeah, when you give to somebody or something or some environment, whether it's the environment for the planet or for people, and you ask nothing in return, you do it because it's the thing to do. Mm-hmm. Oh, do you get a good high? Everyone likes to be acknowledged, but do it sometime and don't tell anybody you did it. Like, there'll be times, Austin especially, I'll go downtown, and when I'm in LA, I'll do it because I was homeless here once, and I'll hand out $100 bills. I'll just go by, say, this is for you, and I'll just keep on walking. And one lady I gave a stack to. It was a $10,000 stack. She was just the kindest, sweetest lady, and I talked to her a little bit. She told me a little about her life, and I said, can I give you a couple of dollars? Oh, no. I found out a way to make it okay because I don't like to ask for anything. They said, okay, so I just held her hand, and I said, can I put a note in your pocket? She goes, sure. So I just put the note in her pocket without realizing. Just pulled $10,000 out, put it in her pocket. There, was folded with a rubber band. Wow. And I said, you are so blessed. Why don't you wait a few minutes before I read my note? Say a little prayer, then read the note, okay? And I disappeared.
Habit number 5, be a student with Mark Cuban.
Now I'm going through and teaching myself neural networks and, doing the same thing with machine learning and GANs and this and that, because AI is going to have more of an impact than the internet did. AI plus new types of chipsets plus 5G is going to change things far more than we've ever seen anything change. And understanding where and how to apply it is going to be critical, but just as important, knowing how to segregate and separate the bullshit. Yeah. Right, is as important, because every email y'all are about to send me is going to say, I have this AI solution and we're using algorithms. Yeah, of course you are, right? And then what? What really makes you different? What really sets you apart? But if I didn't do that work, if I didn't sit down and do the AWS machine learning tutorials, if I didn't go on YouTube and take, the NYU Introduction to Neural Networks or whatever, I'm not going to know it, I'm not going to be able to apply it, and I'm not going to be able to be first. And that's fun. That's fun. Knowing I get to kick the ass of some 22-year-old NYU graduate, that's awesome.
Habit number 6, find your allies with Jeff Bezos.
I find if I'm stressed about something, it's usually because I'm not doing anything about it. And so if I'm stressed about something, I'm trying to figure out, why am I stressed? I'm listening to my body as a signal that something is awry. And then I find that the stress goes away the second I take the first step of identify the source of the stress. Why am I stressed about this? What's going on? And then, talk to somebody about it. Find allies. I would say that if you can find friends who are interested in similar things or want to help you solve a problem, problem solving is inspiring for me all by itself. As long as I have allies, there's nothing more fun than getting in a room with a group of inventors and saying, look, here's the problem. Let's invent a solution to it.
And habit number 7 is start delegating with Sarah Blakely.
What's the best advice that you've received?
Someone told me that what you delegate is 80% as good as you would have done it yourself. Let it go.
Oh, wow.
I took inventory of what am I good at, what am I not good at, what do I, enjoy and don't enjoy, and they're usually the same thing. Ironically, I was very clear in the first year I was not good at shipping and handling, and I wasn't good at, so many different things about managing the inventory, but I loved inventing the next idea. I loved the brand. I loved the way that I was communicating with consumers. So being able to free yourself up to do what you do best and let the people who do the other aspects do it.